Hello, I'm Erik Robey.
And I'm Karla Schaffer, and this is Anne Arundel County Week in Review. This week we'll tell you about a police investigation to break up a notorious gang and an important test that might interrupt some of your TV programs next week. But first, making headlines around the county. Well, this county is known for its excellent recycling program, which in some cases has been a bit too successful. That's right, you may have spotted one of our trademark yellow containers outside county lines. That's because the containers are distributed to residents for free, while other jurisdictions charge for them. Well, County Executive Leopold and Glen Burnie councilmen have added a requirement that citizens show identification and sign for the bins to keep them here in Anne Arundel County. It's still easy to get the containers and keep pushing to recycle more often. They're available at various waste management locations around the county. After requesting a container, a resident is asked to provide their driver's license, and then they are asked to read a notice. While they're reading the notice, an employee fills in the resident's address, driver's license number, and prints their name on an attached log sheet. County Executive Leopold said of the new requirement, taxpayer dollars are spent to make sure that residents have what they need to recycle, and we don't want money wasted by people from other jurisdictions obtaining them fraudulently. If you would like to request a recycling container, go to www.recyclemoreoften.org and view the list of our 4 convenient locations. You can also call 410-222-6100.
A notorious Maryland prison gang is about to face the music thanks to the help from our Anne Arundel County Police. This week, 22 men were indicted on charges of murder for hire, armed robbery, and drug running. The U.S. Attorney has brought the charges against Dead Men Incorporated after an investigation that involved multiple jurisdictions. County police say that this organization has been involved in street robberies, home invasions, property thefts, intimidation, assaults, and other crimes that have plagued our North County community. Among those charged are the alleged co-founders, Perry Rorick and James Sweeney. According to the Baltimore Sun, Rorick, a Dundalk native who is referred to as the Supreme Commander, was charged earlier this year in another killing days before he was released from prison, where he was serving a 25-year sentence. County Executive Leopold said of the indictments, "This case is an excellent example of multiple jurisdictions working together to reduce crime. I want to thank the Anne Arundel County Police Department who worked on this case." There are more than 500 DMI members in Maryland prison facilities, about half the numbers of Bloods, but 7 times the membership of MS-13, a Hispanic gang that has garnered headlines for ruthless crimes. We will keep you updated as this case progresses.
This is not a test. Well, actually it is. The federal government will conduct its first ever nationwide test of the emergency alert system on Wednesday, November 9th at 2 p.m. The test will last up to 3.5 minutes and will interrupt regularly scheduled TV, radio, cable, and satellite broadcasts. The National Emergency Alert System is an alert and warning system that can be activated by the President if needed to provide information to the American public during emergencies. You might be familiar with the emergency broadcast system that has piped these kinds of messages on TV and radio since we were kids. The new alert system is more advanced and reaches more people. The emergency broadcast system was used from 1963 to 1997. Before that, we used a system called CONELRAD, which is short for Control of Electromagnetic Radiation. It was first established in 1951 and gave the government the ability to shut down radio stations to broadcast a message. Before that, the best we could do was news bulletins, such as what we used during the attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941.
But what about Facebook and social media? You know, I better get a tweet or a text or a podcast or something sent to my BlackBerry on this one, Karla. But now let's see where our community spotlight is shining this week. First up is Bee Poulin, who talked to the new leader of a local government agency that helps a whole lot of people here in Anne Arundel County. Bee.
I'm here today at the Anne Arundel Community Action Agency in Annapolis, Maryland, visiting with the new CEO of the agency, Ms. Kanaya Sequoia. Ms. Sequoia, thank you for allowing us to come visit with you today and talk about community action.
Well, thank you for coming and for this interview. I am so pleased to be here in the county, and I love this agency. I think we do really good work.
Well, that's what I want to talk to you about today, is the agency and the scope of work that it does. It has been established in this county
since 1965.
It was part of the Lyndon Johnson administration War on Poverty initiative.
That's right.
So that's a pretty long history. You're coming in just this last summer to head up this agency and take it into the 21st century. Is that right?
That's right.
I want to talk to you about the umbrella that this agency covers, programmatic wise. It really serves a huge population here in Anne Arundel County, and I think a lot of people don't know that. So that's part of the reason for our interview today. We want people to understand how big an agency and who it serves.
We serve just shy of 9,800 people.
And in a county that's well known for its wealth and its well-being, that's a kind of surprising statistic that we have people in need right here in Anne Arundel County.
Absolutely. There are pockets of poverty here in the county, and when the county is just so beautiful as this, that sometimes you don't see those things. You see people doing very well. So we have a substantial population who are doing very well here, and we would hope that they will become more aware of their neighbors who aren't faring as well.
Okay. So let's talk about the programs that serve our neighbors that aren't doing as well as others. If I play a little word association with you, let's start with Head Start.
Head Start prepares low-income children for school. We give them the enriching environment they need to prepare them to be ready to enter kindergarten.
And where are the Head Start programs?
We have 6 centers.
Okay.
2 are in Annapolis. There are 3 in the northern part of the county, and we have another one in the southern part of the county.
In Shadyside?
That's right.
Okay. And those centers are open for families anywhere in the county that can get to those points?
Absolutely.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, we do provide transportation for those who aren't able to get to us.
Okay. Now, there's another program that's called Early Head Start, and how is it different from Head Start?
Now, Early Head Start is only in one part of the county, that's Shadyside, and we work with mothers who are pregnant, and we make sure that the child enters life in under the best physical and mental circumstances. We want them to be well when they're born. Then we work with them after they're born to bond mother and child. We look at early intervention, and we actually work with them up until the time that they're eligible for Head Start.
So we know that early time in a mother's life where she's carrying a baby is just as important as the time after the baby is born to bring her the enrichment she needs so she understands what she's going to be preparing for.
Exactly. We know that what happens when mothers are pregnant, what she eats, what she does is very, very important. And we know that a critical time in a child's life is the first 2 years. Okay. So we want to make sure that those first 2 years are really enriching for that child.
And let's not leave out the dads. How are the dads involved in that?
Well, actually, this is a family approach. So we're working with mom because she's pregnant and she obviously is carrying the child, but we're working with the father as well and helping him to bond with the child and making him aware of what's needed to provide the support that his child needs in growing to be an successful adult.
Okay. Annapolis Youth Services Bureau, that's a program under the agency?
Yes, that's a program designed to prevent juvenile delinquency. We get referral of youth for the Actually, we get children as young as 5 years old referred for that program. Our major source of referral is the school system. Okay. And we provide counseling, clinical counseling to them and mentoring to them to help them refocus what they're doing so that they don't end up in trouble. These children have not been adjudicated. They're just having behavioral issues.
Okay. The empowerment program, what is that?
Now that's that's a multifaceted program. It is for low-income people, but it also is for middle class folks who are in crises. We have a homeless prevention initiative that's part of that. We provide rental assistance for folks who are having problems with that, particularly during these hard economic times. We have foreclosure mitigation, so we help people whose homes may be going into foreclosure. And we have classes for first-time home buyers.
Are these free courses for eligible clients?
Well, the only one that has a fee, and it's not a great fee, is the first-time home buyers class.
Okay. Energy assistance.
Energy assistance is to keep your lights on and keep the heat on in homes. That is our biggest program. We serve over 8,000 people a year in
Anne Arundel County.
In Anne Arundel County.
Okay.
And actually, that's 100% increase from the year before.
Wow.
These are 2010 statistics that I'm sharing with you. Okay. In 2009, it was around 4,000.
What a leap.
Yes. And we served last year 8,000 people. And again, it's because of harsh economic times. It's because folks are losing their jobs, they're not able to pay their bills, and they have a crisis.
Did I leave anything out? Let's see. The Green Summer Works is a new initiative in this agency.
Yes.
What's that about?
We're really very pleased about that. That's where, again, we get children. We work with the school system with that particular program. And during the summer months, we work with children who are in high school to give them a work experience in the green industry. Okay. So we make them aware of green jobs. We also provide mentoring to them and help prepare them for college. And it's just a real fun program. And it really is truly prevention.
And how do students find out about that program?
Through the school system primarily.
Okay. So we have the Head Start, Early Head Start, Energy Assistance, Empowerment, Annapolis Youth Services Bureau, and the Green Summer Works, all encapsulated under Community Action Agency here in Anne Arundel County.
That's right.
And so you've come on board, you're looking at the agency, tweaking it here and there, because this agency is pretty much funded by federal, state, and county dollars. But we know from what we hear coming out of Washington, D.C., that some of those funds may be cut. So how are you preparing this agency for its future, and what would you like to hear from the surrounding community in Anne Arundel County about assisting this agency?
Well, one of the things is we're raising our profile so that people know who we are. Oftentimes they know more about our programs than the agency itself. So we're doing that. We also are preparing the program, and we're actually actively looking for private funding. Okay. We have been very fortunate to have public funding all these years, but we know we can see it coming where we need to we need to diversify our funding base anyway. So we will be looking to the private sector to help us. We will be going for foundation dollars, corporate dollars, and we'll be looking for the public to begin to support the agency that's here, providing for people in the county who are not faring well. We're coming up with special events, fundraising types of things. And so, yes, we really are trying to diversify our agency, and we are encouraging the public to think of us when they contribute to charities.
Okay, so in the future and in the next few weeks, as you consider your local giving to charities, think about Community Action Agency. You can learn more about Community Action Agency at their website, which is very easy, www.aaccaa.org. And you can also call and talk to Ms. Canoia at, the number is
410-626-1900.
Okay. So thank you very much for time today with you, and if we can be helpful, please let us know. And thank you. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bea. The Community Action Agency is really our safety net in this difficult economy. We wish Ms. Sequoia the best of luck.
Well, there's more Week in Review to come. Take a look at the community calendar for what's happening around the county. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
There are a lot of myths about hiring people with disabilities.
It will cost a lot of money. The truth is
50% of accommodations cost under $500.
People with disabilities.
Fact is, 90% of workers with disabilities performances are rated average or above. See the possibilities, create opportunity.
Work matters.
Visit mdod.maryland.gov.
And welcome back, folks. Well, as you know, sports are huge here in the state of Maryland with the Orioles, the Ravens, the Redskins down there in FedEx in Prince George's County. We thought it would be fitting to bring the guy who brings the sports to us, Terry Hasseltine, Director of Sports Marketing for the state of Maryland. Terry, thanks for joining us on the show.
Well, it's great to be here.
Well, we always like to talk about Anne Arundel County being one of these counties that's right in the middle, right on the border of Baltimore City, right on the border of D.C. and Prince George's County. And we've got three great facilities, FedEx Field, and then, of course, the Ravens Stadium, M&T Bank Stadium, and then the Orioles Stadium up there. They bring a wonderful economic impact to our area. Tell us a little bit about some of the economics behind.
Well, just look at 10 dates out of every year, both with FedEx and with M&T Bank Stadium. You're talking about bringing in events that have maximum capacity. You're talking at M&T Bank Stadium, 71,008 people, as we were talking earlier. You talk FedEx Field, you're talking up over 84,000 people, coming in to watch your team. They're spending money, they're buying concessions, they're shopping in the retail outlets. As a quoted statement from me all the time, it's heads and beds, food and belly, gas and car, credit card and cash on counters, and butts and seats. That's how we measure, the sporting event industry. And when you have assets like M&T Bank Stadium, Oriole Park at Camden Yards, and you have FedEx Field, in such a tight demographic and geography, landscape here in the state of Maryland, we're very unique compared to our competitors because their stadiums are usually miles and even hundreds of miles apart. And here we have 3 stadiums within 27 miles of each other.
And we talk about the stadiums that we have here, but the Maryland Stadium Authority, which you're also involved with, you guys have the convention center, a lot of the facilities, Coppin State, you guys have some of the facilities, built some of the facilities up there. The Maryland Stadium Authority, you guys have grown since 1986.
Well, yes, they've managed many projects that have bringing economic growth and gain to the state of Maryland. They're always on time and under budget, which is something that very proud, especially when you're a quasi-state agency, to be able to brag and boast about the fact that the projects you manage and the projects that you're involved with are under budget and well managed. Mike Friends has a dynamic team at the Stadium Authority. I have the good fortune, to be affiliated with them to help them with some of their ancillary sports product. The day-to-day operations with the O's, not my purview. The day-to-day operations with the Ravens, not my purview. But how we utilize the Camden Yards, sports complex, outside of the regular season, that's where I get brought in to figure out some of the unique opportunities, like we did in 2009, bringing Chelsea AC Milan, the largest sporting event ever in M&T Bank Stadium history, to the state. I mean, that was a close to $20 million economic impact event for the greater Baltimore region. Anne Arundel County was hugely impacted by that event. I mean, the airport properties there, and the lodging there, and the transportation on the light rail, the airport. I mean, you were the epicenter of how people got here, and then the housing that was associated with that event. There's close to 10,000 hotel rooms in downtown Baltimore, and there's about 10,000 hotel rooms right around the airport, and 95% of those hotels in and around the airport sitting in Arundel County. So the economics of those events coming to the state have a huge influence on the region. And that's the important thing of having those assets. They're regional. Yes, they sit in Baltimore City proper, but they really have a regional impact when we utilize them the right way.
We were talking off camera a little bit about the Army-Navy game coming to FedEx Field next month. What other events are on the horizon?
Well, we're in constant communications with various groups about international soccer matches, both at FedEx Field and at M&T Bank Stadium. We saw in 2009 the impact that the event had there, and then this past summer FedEx hosted Barcelona and Man U, which was to a maximum capacity crowd. So there's a huge soccer following, obviously, in the state of Maryland and up and down the 95 corridor. And a lot of discussion and talking about what we're going to do with that. Obviously, lacrosse is the state mecca when it comes to team sports. It's the fastest growing sport in the United States. U.S. lacrosse is headquartered here. We have NCAA lacrosse coming back in 2014. We just hosted it the past 2 years in 10 and 11. Great crowds, great impact on the region. Once again, another one of those events, because it happened in M&T Bank Stadium, the filtration of people and where they stayed and where they ate and how they got into town had such a regional impact. Those are the type of events that we really like to go after, because there's so many people can be involved and everybody wins. You know, you don't just look at it from a perspective that this is Baltimore City. I don't ever have that mentality when I think of a sporting event. I say there's going to be a lot of opportunity here, and we just got to figure out how to team all the right people together to make sure that the state and the counties that are involved win. You know, like I said, heads and beds, food and belly, gas and car, credit card, and cash on counters, and butts and seats.
That's a great way to put it. Terry, I got to say, Director of Sports Marketing, there's a lot of kids out there in high school that are watching the program. They know they're not good enough to make the major leagues. They know they're not good enough to play NFL football. But God, these kids would love to have a job like sports marketing for a state like Maryland. What do you do on a daily basis?
Well, it's all about networking. It's all about who you know. What you know is important too, but who you know, how you stay connected. For example, today I was in back-to-back meetings. A lot of those with Under Armour, trying to figure out strategic partnerships on the events that we're working on. Finding out from them some of the things that they're working on to see if there's some synergies there to make sure that we're not stepping on each other's toes. We have a Team Maryland initiative, which is 13 of our counties have committed to sports as an economic driver for their economy. They're trying to bring in those amateur sports events, which are really the foundation of what we do. Those are the events where girls sporting event 13 and under. That's a 3.5 to 1 travel ratio. For every athlete, you're getting 3.5 people to come with. In those events, we're bringing the Region 1 youth soccer championships to Maryland in 13 and 14. That's over 400 teams playing soccer for a week in Maryland. Moms, dad, brothers, sisters, aunts, and uncles coming. So every day is different. I travel a lot in the fall because various trade shows. I'm on the National Association of Sports Commissions Board of Directors and the Executive Committee. In 18 months, I'll be the chair of that organization. So a lot of talking on the phone, a lot of email exchange, a lot of getting to know all the stakeholders that are associated with any sporting event. We got the 2014 Canoe Slalom World Championships coming. I mean, most people say, canoe slalom, what is that? I mean, it's people that compete and they go down a slalom course on whitewater, and we have a great man-made facility out in Western Maryland. So the dynamics of knowing multiple sports. I'm a sports generalist by trade. I know enough about every sport probably to be dangerous, but not enough about them to be the point guy on any specific sport.
Well, it's great, folks. You've got to understand the impact that these facilities have and these sporting events have, whether it's a youth sporting event or a major league sporting event, that sports really has on our economy here in Anne Arundel County and here in the region. Terry, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, my pleasure.
Come back anytime.
I look forward to
it. Bring us some samples and everything else you can do for us.
Tickets and no.
There you go, tickets. I didn't say tickets. Folks, we're going to go ahead and take a break. And when we come back, there'll be more Week in Review. Stay with us.
It's cold and flu season, and the last thing you want is to be sick or make others sick. So here's what you do to stop germs and stay healthy. Cover your coughs. Wash your hands after sneezing, coughing, or blowing your nose. Wash with warm water and soap for 20 seconds, and then dry. When you can't wash your hands, use an alcohol-based sanitizer. If you do get sick, stay home. Stop germs, stay healthy.
Welcome back. In this week's Police Beat, we have the story of an escaped inmate who was on the lam for a matter of a few hours before he was captured. Joining us with more details is Public Information Officer Justin Mulcahy. Justin.
Thanks, Eric. Several officers, detectives, and canine units from the Anne Arundel County Police Department, with assistance from the Howard County Police Department's Aviation Unit and the Baltimore Police Department's Aviation Unit, responded to canvass the area, and they were actively looking for 20-year-old Durante Lee Sims. Also on November 2nd, fast forward later that evening to about 10:45 p.m., acting on information that was developed and received from the Annapolis Police Department, as their agency played a pivotal role in assisting in the search for Durante Sims. Members of the Anne Arundel County Police Department Special Enforcement Section, along with officers from the Baltimore Police Department, they located Durante Lee Sims in Baltimore City in the area of Marborn Avenue and Hollands Ferry Road. They took him into custody without incident. Suspect was served a warrant for second-degree escape. He's currently being held on a $150,000 bail for previous charges. Folks, we're going to move on to our second incident. That one took place on October 22nd around 3 a.m. That's when a theft from automobile occurred in the 2300 block of Fairhaven Lane in Crofton. Security cameras installed at the victim's residence actually captured footage of the suspect breaking into a vehicle. The Anne Arundel County Police Department's Western District began receiving some tips on the information. They are investigating multiple thefts also of a similar nature over the past several weeks. 6 theft from autos took place in the Nantucket Muse community in Crofton during the evening to morning hours of September 28th. 4 theft from autos occurred during the evening to morning hours in the Amberfield community of Crofton on September 29th, and 3 theft from autos took place in the 1700 block of Sharwood Place in Crofton during the evening to morning hours of September 19th. Additionally, the Western District Station was made aware of multiple theft from autos that occurred in the communities of Crofton Meadows, Crofton Village, Nantucket Muse, Crofton Farms, and the Amberfield community during the evening to morning hours from basically September 21st all the way through October 22nd. Now on October 24th, the video footage of the aforementioned vehicle break-in was posted on the Anne Arundel County Police Department's Facebook page. Over the next several days after posting the footage of this theft from automobile, the agency received several phone calls from alert and vigilant citizens revealing the identity of the subject that was captured on camera. Western District detectives subsequently obtained an arrest warrant for the suspect, who was arrested and charged with destruction of property, rogue and vagabond, and possession of burglary tools. That suspect is Brandon Michael Smith, age 28, of 2488 Vineyard Lane in Crofton, Maryland. So this was a great case where citizens were getting involved and relaying information to the police department, and the police department was utilizing social media to reach out to the public, and it led to an arrest. Now, as always, folks, if you have any information on anything we mentioned on the show, don't hesitate to call, email, or text any of your tips to Metro Crime Stoppers. It's available 24 hours a day, toll-free at 1-866-7-LOCK-UP, or you could text message your tip to CRIMES. Your third option, visit the website at www.metrocrimestoppers.net. As always, phone calls are not recorded and callers remain anonymous. You might be eligible for a cash reward of up to $2,000. Back to you, Eric.
Thanks, Justin. Wow, it's been a great week for the police department. We really appreciate all that the boys in blue do for us.
This week in Hot Topics, the Anne Arundel County Fire Department responded to 1,465 calls for service. This included more than 1,117 emergency medical calls and 128 fire calls. County firefighters were shocked by a late-night knock at the door of one of the county fire stations, and some early morning patrons of an Annapolis area restaurant got more than they bargained for during the breakfast rush. With us now to tell us more about these incidents is Division Chief Michael Cox of the Anne Arundel County Fire Department. Chief?
Thanks, Karla. The first incident occurred just after 11:30 p.m. on Tuesday, November 1st, 2011, when county firefighters answered a knock at the door at the Arnold Fire Station. Much to their surprise was a teenage male who had been stabbed as a result of some type of altercation that occurred moments earlier on Baronsdale Drive in the Severna Park area of the county. The patient, a 17-year-old male, suffered multiple stab wounds to his upper torso area. He suffered life-threatening injuries as a result and was transported Priority 1 to the University of Maryland's R. Adams Cowley Shock Trauma Center in Baltimore via ground ambulance. In a second incident this week, Anne Arundel County firefighters were called to a report of black smoke coming from the roof of the McDonald's restaurant located at 2130 Generals Highway in the Annapolis area of the county around 7:20 a.m. on Wednesday, November 2nd, 2011. The first unit to arrive on the scene reported no visible fire or smoke. However, a closer investigation into the interior of the building revealed a fire in the kitchen area of the building. Firefighters utilizing dry chemical extinguishers were able to quickly douse the flames that were contained to the fryer and exhaust hood system in the restaurant. Occupants of the restaurant were evacuated without incident. However, one employee of the restaurant was exposed to some smoke from the fire. She was evaluated at the scene by fire department paramedics and ultimately transported to Anne Arundel Medical Center via ground ambulance Priority 2 for treatment. Karla?
Thanks, Chief. Law enforcement officials advised that the stabbing incident remains under investigation. The cause of the fire is being called accidental in nature, and a damage estimate was not immediately available. The County Health Department was notified of the incident and will be working with management to reopen the restaurant.
And now the spotlight turns to, you guessed it, Mark Chang, who is in the Glen Burnie area, checking out the efforts to prepare for Thanksgiving and the holiday season ahead for our neediest residents. Mark.
Thanks to both of you in the studio. Well, it's already November, and the holidays are fast approaching. The folks are already flocking out to the malls, and families are getting ready to finalize their plans for the holidays. And unfortunately, there are many families throughout our county who are going through some difficult times, and the holidays could be a very challenging time for them. However, there's two organizations out here that I'm with today in Glen Burnie that are helping to fill that gap and fill the needs and help families out in our county. And that's Take Back Our Streets and the Abundant Life Church. And with me today, I have team members of both organizations. And what I'd like to do is first start off with Senator Wagner. Senator Wagner, great. Thanks a lot for coming on the show. Could you give background about what Take Back Our Streets does for the community?
Well, actually, I'm going to tell you about the beginning of Take Back the Streets. It all began in around 1992. The police had started a youth program, and they were moving into communities like Freetown, Pioneer Village, and Mead Village and Pioneer City. And they were trying to address the drug problem, the lack of parental supervision, and they were starting a youth program, sports and mentoring, and but the police came into my office and told me about the program, and they were looking for a contribution or some ways to raise money. And I said, tell me about your program. And they were going into Freetown first and going to address the drug problems. And I said, okay, well, if you're going to do that, then we'll help you raise money. We came up with the name of Take Back the Streets, and that was the beginning. And Gordy March, Joe Hatcher, Chief Russell, and Deputy Chief Koch were a big part of the start. And from there, it just developed into a community program.
Great. Well, I know that you proudly represented District 32 in the past, so we thank you for your service and that all that you do during your retirement. And Councilman Jones, you were also part of the Take Back Our Streets program in the past. And what involvement did you have in the past, and how have you seen it change in the present?
Well, when Senator Wagner was involved with starting Take Back Our Streets and with the police department, I at that point was an assistant state's attorney here in Anne Arundel County. And so I had the opportunity to work with him along with the county police officers with whom I had a very close working relationship to get involved in the mentoring aspect of that, to try to reach some of these kids that were in some of these troubled communities and less than advantageous communities, to try to make them part of this process. It really was a holistic process in terms of what the police department and the Take Back Our Streets program was attempting to do, because they needed both aspects. They not only needed to be able to offer the help, but they also needed the kids and the families to respond that needed the help. And so I tried to assist in that avenue.
Great. Thanks a lot, Councilman. Now go from Senator's past to Senator present. We have Senator Grange on the show as always. It's always good to have you on here. And could you tell the folks out there about what type of programs you all do right now?
Well, Mark, we're doing a lot of things within the school systems and getting names. There's a lot of needy families out there. So we start off raising school supplies and distributing those to schools. And then as the weather changes and gets a little colder, then we're gathering coats and gloves and hats and so forth to help the children in the cold weather. And one of our biggest initiatives, which we're doing right now, is starting our holiday sharing, getting prepared for that. And we're having some fundraising efforts going on. We're also getting people of the communities and so forth, such as the hospital employees who raise gifts, the Ravens Roast and people like that are raising gifts and bringing gifts so families will have a nice Christmas.
Absolutely. And earlier this year in the summer, Take Back Our Streets donated a bunch of food supplies for the National Night Out Against Crime in Brooklyn Park. And I know that the Anne Arundel County Police Department and also the citizens up in Brooklyn Park really appreciate it. So thank you very much, Senator, for your support in that. And also throughout the entire year, all the programs that your team does for the folks out in the community.
Well, it takes a lot of people, and we have tremendous support through the community and through the volunteers and our board members, as you see here. Some of our board members that are actively involved, not only at the holiday season, but year-round.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Ed. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mark.
Now I have Liz Wagner and also Bill Ream. Bill's with the Abundant Life Church, and Liz, you're just out everywhere in Glen Burnie. But could you tell the folks out there, the Senator mentioned holiday sharing programs coming up, and there's many families out there in need. Could you tell the folks out there what's all needed with this holiday sharing? When is it?
It's been alluded to that the need is definitely great, and where we are able to secure our names from come from the schools, Department of Social Services, and the needs range anywhere. Because we are an organization that really tries to provide Christmas, we focus on the gift part, that each child would at least receive 3 presents, and if as you get higher in age, then it will become a gift card and a present, as well as a food gift card. And so as we started to partner and collaborate with Abundant Life Church, it really grew, and their volunteerism grew, and we were able to just, just make that happen. So the needs are great, but the response is just as great, and we're able to, sort of make that all happen and come together.
Great. There's a big event coming up in December.
It is. It's coming up at Michael's 8th Avenue, December 7th from 6 to 9. We would ask that if you do attend, that you please bring with you an unwrapped new toy, no stuffed animals, please, as well as a canned food item for Neon. That is very important because their shelves are dry. So if you could help with that, we appreciate it. From that evening, we also will take those gifts, bring them back here to Abundant Life Church, where Bill is going to tell you what kind of happens from there.
Oh, great. Thanks a lot, Liz. And I know you're all about teamwork, and you got a great partner here, Abundant Life, and Bill and his entire team. Bill, could you tell us about that process, about getting the gifts out?
Yeah, once we bring the gifts back, we bring them back to the church here, and we actually have a team that comes in and sorts those gifts and puts them in age categories. And then on one of the Fridays before, we have we call shoppers, and they come in and they actually will receive a family's name and their how many people were in that family, and they will actually shop for the family. So it becomes a little personal for them, because it's really funny. We've participated many times, and they get excited about it, and they go, well, they want to get the best gift for their child that they have to shop for. So once that happens, then we meet the Saturday when we distribute, and we have a team that comes in, and they actually will go and deliver the gifts that we have, and we also have people who will come and pick them up from here too. So we just kind of do all the logistic work and get the gifts organized and distributed.
Great. Thanks a lot, Bill. And anyone out there who wants to volunteer, is there volunteer opportunities?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, if you want to go to our website, abundantlifechurch.us, just go there and you'll be able to see, you can sign up online and come and help.
Great. Thanks a lot, Bill. And also today we have Senior Pastor Dan Mucci. Anytime I'm driving on Furnace Branch Road, the church is always hopping. I always see your team out there either doing beautification projects or other different things. Could you tell us why is the church involved in such a great program like this?
Well, we feel that God's love needs to be shown in tangible and practical ways, and that's sort of our theme, showing God's love in practical ways. And so we partnered with Take Back Our Streets a number of years ago. They invited our choir to perform at the event, and as a result of that, we got involved with the board and just became more and more involved in it. And our church loves participating and loves handling the distributing part of the event.
Great. Thanks a lot, Pastor Mucci. Really appreciate it. And then Linda, Mrs. Linda Harris. Linda, for the folks out there who are watching and they want to get involved, and whether it be financial contributions or contacting to come to the Michael's 8th Avenue event, what are phone numbers and all that information?
There are 2 phone numbers. They can contact Liz Wagner at 410-761-1626 or myself, 410-551-0133. They can also send our contributions to our post office box, Take Back Our Streets, 502, Post Office Box 502, Linthicum, Maryland, 21090.
Great. Thank you very much, Liz. And thank you to the entire Take Back Our Streets team and the Abundant Life team. I appreciate all the work you do, not just during the holiday season, but throughout the entire year. Folks, you heard it. The need is great throughout the entire county. So while you're out there shopping for your families and during this busy time, holiday time, mark your calendars for Wednesday, December 7th at Michael's 8th Avenue. Come out, bring out a canned good and a gift. And also, while you're out there shopping, think about shopping for someone else out there in the county too. And we greatly appreciate it. So reporting from Abundant Life Church in Glen Burnie with the members of the Take Back Our Streets team and also the Abundant Life Church, back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Mark. There are so many ways to get involved and help your neighbors this holiday season.
We have some really amazing volunteers in this county, and Mary Felter's here with us this week to tell us about a few who are receiving special recognition. Mary?
Thank you, Karla. Today my guest is Kim Yates, who is the director of our Retired and Senior Volunteer Program, also known as RSVP. I've asked him on the program today because she has some good news for us. Would you like to tell us what that is?
Yes, thank you for having me first. We have 2 programs under RCP that are going to be inducted into the Anne Arundel County Volunteer Hall of Fame on November 10th at the Yellowfin restaurant in Edgewater, Maryland. Those programs are the VIPS program, which is Volunteer and Police Service, and the other is the Reserve Officer program, both of which are under RCP but also are held through the police department.
Congratulations on the award. It's nice to be recognized.
Yes, these gentlemen do, and ladies do, a very, very good job for the citizens of the county.
I understand they save us quite a lot of money.
Yes, they do. Last year they took the place of about 20 full-time employees that would be, police employees.
Mm-hmm.
They also served about 14,000 hours, and the money they saved was about $460,000.
That's quite a lot of money.
Yes, they're a very valuable asset.
Tell us what volunteers in police service do, and what are the requirements?
Well, the VIPS volunteers are a little different than the reserve officer. The VIPS volunteers, you have to be 18 years of age, obviously no criminal record, have a driver's license, and they mainly do assist the police in more clerical duties such as fingerprinting, photographing, courier duties, aids, that type of thing. Where the reserve officers are uniformed, they typically have a car that says reserve officer. You would normally see them like at a traffic light where there's a blockage in the road, or during say like a parade or anything like that. And they do a little more intricate work with the police. Still neither are actual police officers. However, they are trained by the police and they have ongoing training.
The reserve officers have to be at least age 21, correct?
Yes. Also have a valid driver's license, be a citizen of the United States. Typically, the ones that I have, well, actually I could say most all of them are over the age of 55, and usually retired police officers or military are
So
usually
they
the
already
ones.
have some experience in the field, so that's
Yes.
helpful, isn't it?
Yes, it is, but not necessary.
Not necessary. So if someone wants to volunteer for either one of those programs, they just give you a call?
Yes. Yes. Would you like my phone number?
I sure would.
It's 410-222-6717 or 410-222-6713.
And I understand another one of your programs also was a finalist in this particular competition. Can you tell us what that one was?
Yes, that's the VITA program. That's the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program, where we place volunteers into the senior centers through tax season who voluntarily prepare taxes for individuals 55 and older or disabled within an income eligible range.
Mm-hmm.
It's a free service, like I said, and they are trained by the IRS, so they are the runner-up in this induction into the Hall of Fame.
Well, I congratulate you on getting 2 programs into the Hall of Fame and a third one that was nominated for it and becoming a finalist. I understand that they've been told that they ought to apply again next year.
Yes, definitely. I'm really proud of them. It's an honor. It truly is.
Well, I congratulate you again, and I thank you for coming on the program today to let our viewers know about the upcoming honor.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate you having me.
This is Mary Felter, Public Information Officer with the Anne Arundel County Department of Aging and Disabilities, which oversees the RSVP program, and we're very happy to have you on the program. Back to you, Karla.
Thanks, Mary. A lot of famous celebrities have wanted to become police officers, like Elvis, who was deputized by Richard Nixon, and Shaquille O'Neal, who went through the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Reserve Academy and became a reserve officer with the Los Angeles Port Police. But these volunteers are special. They don't need a gun or a badge. They just want to help the community, and that's enough for them.
So did Shaquille do that because he and Kobe were having a little feud, so he wanted to find a way to arrest Kobe Bryant? I'm just kidding. Well, if you want to avoid packing on the pounds this winter, and yes, I do, after all those holiday dinners, football tailgates, and great Christmas parties, Carolyn Ryan joins us in the Recreation and Park Spotlight to show us all of the fitness programs they have out there. Carolyn.
Just because it's getting colder outside doesn't mean that your fitness routine needs to take a break.
could come on out to the Arundel Olympic Swim Center in Annapolis and take part in one of the great fitness classes that they offer here. I'm here with Darnell Ravenel at the Arundel Olympic Swim Center. Darnell, give us some information on the fitness classes that you have available.
First of all, we have several classes for different age groups. Morning classes are mainly senior-based. They're ran at 9, 10, and 11 a.m. in the morning. Like I said, they're senior-based, but all are welcome. For the seniors, they're pay-as-you-go in the morning. We have 7 different levels. Our 9 o'clock class is pretty much a moderate level type class. Our 10 o'clock is a high impact, and our 11 o'clock class is a more of a lower impact. So we have it for all different levels because, as you know, with water fitness, you know, it's very good as far as with your limbs and less strain on your tendons and different parts of your body. We also have evening classes. They're given Monday through Thursday on a Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday basis. On Monday and Wednesdays, the classes are 5:30 to 6:30 and 6:45 to 7:45 p.m. Tuesday, Thursdays, the classes are from 6 to 7 p.m., 7:15 to 8:15 p.m. Those classes, there is a fee for, we do sessions. We do a 13-week session before the new year, and then we do an 8-week session after the new year. For information on that, you can always call the center here at 410-222-7933 and talk to the front desk person or ask for a manager. Also on the Rec and Parks website, and we also have a brochure that's available at our libraries, and you know that you can get the information from. So.
Okay, now these are all in-water classes. Now you guys also offer some out-of-water land classes.
Yeah, on Tuesday and Thursdays in our classroom, we have a bio-aerobics class, and there's a class that ran, you know, two different classes, one a lower impact, one a higher impact class, and once again, that's available on the website. If you want to get more information, you can always call here, and like I said, our brochures are readily available around the county. So.
Great. And these classes are for all levels, all fitness levels, all abilities?
Yes, everyone. It's normally adult classes, 18 and up, but you know, men, women, seniors, you know, open for everybody. You know, just come down here and get your fitness on. So.
Great. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Carolyn.
Well, Eric, you know, to keep that holiday weight off, you better get down there in your unitard.
My unitard? Oh, don't tell people about my unitard. I like to keep that secret.
They want to bring it out next week for the show.
Ooh,
Our viewers are asking.
We better get a lot of votes if they want to see me in a unitard. That's a little scary. It's not Halloween anymore, Karla. I can't wear my unitard. That's like our
We'll have a lot more viewers and listeners that week, I think.
Well, you know, if Franklin Cheney wears a unitard, I will wear a unitard, folks. But I'm not wearing one.
Yeah, it's true, though. Halloween's over. We're kind of moving into Thanksgiving time now.
And it's getting cold at night.
It
I mean,
is.
this is that time of year where you get a day. Last week we had a stretch there, and we're going to have another stretch there where the temperature is going to be in the low 60s, going to be feeling really nice out, but then bam, 5 o'clock's going to hit, and that temperature is just going to drop down into the 30s.
The heat is on now.
The heat is on. We're going to need to turn that heat on. A lot of good things coming up, though, this weekend. If you're watching this show on Friday night or on Saturday, Sunday, the big Pasadena Parade is going to come by in downtown Pasadena. And if you can't get out there in person to watch this, folks, Channel 99, our sister channel, the public channel on the PEG Access Network, will actually be showing the parade on Thanksgiving Day.
And you'll get to see Erik Robey.
You'll get to hear him.
Okay,
I'm better heard, not seen. I got a face for radio is what they tell me. Can you believe that? Oh my goodness. But a lot of great things happen, a lot of good sporting events. Our high school football and high school soccer, all of our high school sports are getting wrapped up right around now. So you've got a lot of playoffs, a lot of championships going on. Actually, next week we'll bring you some highlights from the cross-country finals here in Anne Arundel County. So a lot of good high school sports wrapping up.
Wrapping up. End of the fall season.
End of the fall season. Time for
How is it already here?
Time to stay inside and hibernate. Well, that wraps up this week's edition of Week in Review. You can watch this episode online anytime at www.aacounty.org. Archive episodes are available at blip.tv and on YouTube. You can subscribe to that free video podcast at iTunes. Please tune in again next week, folks, for more highlights and news from around your county. We'll see you next time.